Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday night edition of Inside the Headset. It's week 3, game 3 here in the state of Tennessee, but it's week 2, game 2 in the state of Alabama. We're going to start the show off down in Helena, Alabama, as we talk to our good friend, head coach of the Helena Huskies, head coach Richie Busby. How you doing tonight, Coach?
I'm doing good, Stork. How are you?
I'm doing well. I did catch a little bit of your game last Thursday night. You took on Chelsea, came away with a big win, 50-14. I thought a little sloppy there, Coach, in the first quarter with some of the penalties, and we were a little false start here and there. But other than that, big win for the Huskies.
Yeah, we played well. I mean, we did have a few miscues there early in the game,
which is only to be expected. Yeah, it's only to be expected, Coach.
Yeah, we did clean up. You know, I think we were a little bit better than we were the Jamboree night. So it's to be expected playing a rival like that, the first game of the year, and the kids are all amped up to play one another. So, but once we settled in, we played really well. Offense played well all night. Defense came out in the second half and had 5 3-and-outs. And our running game was really good. And we had a couple passing touchdowns. Carson Acker's first-year starter had a good game, threw for about 170 yards. So it was a balanced attack and just a good opening game against one of our rivals.
Yeah, and I thought you ran the ball well. I thought, your tailbacks and running backs and ball haulers, when they got into the second level, they tried to get that a lot of yardage and tried to move quick. They got their legs up underneath of them, Coach.
Yeah, we went back and looked. We averaged 13.8 yards a play on first down, and when you do that, you're going to be pretty successful, and several of those were long runs and one bubble screen that went for 80 yards, but we rushed for right at 300 and threw for 170. So it was a good night overall offensively, both on the ground and in the air. And, we felt like going into the game, we had 3 really good tailbacks like we had talked about, and 2 of those had big nights. Jordan Washington had about 160 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then his backup, Jeremy Spratling, had about 130 and 3 touchdowns. So both of them played really well.
Talk a little bit about the Washington kid. He's been running for you, and, he does a really good job. I've seen him several times. We've been able to catch him on Stork Vision, but he is a back that is explosive and has a chance to play at the next level.
Yeah, he's big and he's explosive. I mean, he's right at 6'2", weighs about 212 to 215 pounds, runs really well, been starting for us since he was a sophomore, so it feels like he's been there 4 or 5 years, and I wish we had him a couple more, but, he's going to, right now, this morning I was asking him, what way is he leaning? He has the Tulane and Memphis are really high on his list, and there's a couple SEC schools that are back sniffing around. He had a little bit of a down year as far as production as a junior. He had 950 yards rushing, but we had another back last year that rushed for 930. So that was kind of the way we'd really like to see the distribution of having 2 backs that kind of carry the load instead of like he did as a sophomore year. He ran it 206 times for 1,700 yards. So, everybody thought he was hurt. Well, he missed 3 games last year, Romano, and still rushed for 950. So his production wasn't down. His carries were down. So, he will play at the next level for sure.
Well, and I'm going to say if somebody says I'm gonna give you my advice, and I'm not going to charge you for it. One time, head coach Donnie Carter always told me that. But in my I was Mr. Huddle before Huddle was even invented. I did a lot of highlight videos, and I will say this: when you're talking to a kid about where he wants to go, he needs to go where he feels like he can excel. It's just a tad bit over his skis. You don't want it a whole lot, because then, when will you get in? And because kids really want to play. But you definitely want to try to chase. You want to chase what the heck you want to do with yourself. So wherever you want to go, and if if you want to go to an SEC school and they have the college or the university or whatever you're looking at, you definitely want to look and say, that's what I want to be later on in life, because I'm not going to be able to run the football. I've got my daughter, I'll go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. My daughter's really good friends with Julio Jones. And, whether it's Julio or Sonny Gray or whatever, when you get towards the end of, that clip of where your career, and you've been doing something all your life, and you got to figure out, well, what am I going to do? What am I going to do now? Or where am I going to go, or what am I going to do to occupy my time, and feel like that at the end of the day I'm giving back, or I'm doing something I want to do and it's fulfilling, and it doesn't make any difference. You still want to be somewhere, or be involved, or somehow figure out where your place is, whether it's football. And I saw where Jacoby Stevens, he played at Oakland, and now he's down at LSU, and he's going to be a grad. He's going to walk up through and be a coach. Ty Nix did the same thing. His coach, his uncle's a coach, his dad's a coach. His uncle's been at Ole Miss a long time, and when you start thinking about what do you want to do, you need to be thinking about that, don't you, Coach? Because it's only going to be 3-4 years, and then if you don't go to that next level, and very few of us get to experience that, and I've never experienced it, gosh forbid, but I'm just saying, you want to figure out what you want to do with who you are, and where you want, your tombstone, that dash in between. Do you not, Coach?
Well, absolutely, and especially at his position, playing running back, even the ones that are blessed enough to play at the highest level in the NFL, the average NFL running back is about 3.7 to 4 years. So even the great ones don't last a long time there on average. But, I think the hardest things for these kids, they get caught up in all these buildings and facilities, and I tell all mine, the building and facilities don't make the program. It's the people inside of them, whether it be high school or college. So go somewhere you feel like you're wanted, and I tell the parents, send them somewhere you think that when your child gets the flu in the middle of the winter, are those coaches going to take care of your child like you would? And from there, everything else will work out. But, yeah, you got to go somewhere that you got to have a plan for the future, and the ones that don't are the ones that don't take advantage of the opportunity they've been given to play college football, but to get an education. But and a lot of them, my kids are blessed. Most of my kids in our program have great families that will steer them in the right direction, not just football-wise, but academically. Our high school is very strong academically, so most of our kids are prepared, and that is on their radar, not just the sports part of it.
Well, and you can look at a Duke, a North Carolina, and a Vanderbilt. Those in Virginia, those are very well institution schools, and I'm not saying anything negative about the other schools. I don't need a big bunch of Twitter bang-ups, but I'm just saying, when you start, or the Harvards or the Yales or any of them, when you start thinking about what you want to do as a person, and where you think you fit in, because you're not good at everything, but you got to kind of figure out and look in the mirror and say, I'm good at this, but I'm not that good at that, whether it be English, science, arts, whatever you want to pursue. And, go chase that, and economics, whatever, and figure out who you are and where you think you can go. And then when you get there, in whatever you're doing in life, you can grow and put food on the table, Coach.
Well, I think, even in high school, and even especially universities, wherever you go, if you want to get an education, a quality education, you're going to get out of it what you put into it.
Absolutely.
Whether it be the smallest high school in Alabama or Tennessee or the largest, there's good teachers everywhere, and if you want to learn and you want to excel, you're going to get a good education. If you don't, it doesn't matter if you're at Yale or Harvard. If you don't want to get education, you won't get one.
That's exactly
because
right.
you choose to do that. So, I think most of our kids are aware of that situation, and hopefully, I'll never forget what Nick Saban told me 10, 12 years ago when he's sitting there talking to our Darius Stewart. He said, I'm going to be honest with you. He said, I want you to come play football here. But at the end of the day, I'm more worried about the next 50 years of your life than I am the next 5. So, with that being said, the kids have to have that mindset. What am I going to do for the next 50 years if I get lucky enough to live that long? That football is not part of it.
Yeah, and life is truly short. Well, you came away with a big win, 50-14, and that doesn't last long because you've been preparing for a tough Buckhorn team, and they're 1-0. So talk a little bit about Buckhorn and what you know about this club you're getting ready to play.
Well, we have one film on them. We played them last year. We went up there and ran the ball really well last year and played well up there. So they've got about 7 starters back on each side of the ball. They're going to be much improved. Coach Patterson's going in, I think, to his 3rd year there. So he's just now kind of putting his hands really on the program. A friend of mine, know his dad well, so I know they're looking forward to coming down and playing in a great atmosphere, and we're looking forward to having them and be a good, friendly non-region or non-conference matchup against a school that has been a 7A school. They're back down in 6A now, so a large high school up there. So they've got a ton of athletes. They won the 6A state championship in basketball last year, so we'll have our hands full Friday night.
What do you feel like? What's some of the things you really need to do well that you feel like you can do better on from last Friday night to this Friday night as you start to grow this team in the 2023 season?
Well, the biggest thing is I think defensively we gave up about 4.8 yards a down on first down last week. I'd like to see that go down a little bit. And just I think that my biggest concern going into a game like this is coming off of playing a rival.
Yep.
And you score 50 points, and then the kids, you start having sports writers talk about, Helena is this and Helena is that. My biggest concern is having a letdown, knowing next week we have Homewood, which is right across town and is a region game and somewhat of a rival. We played them every year, so I don't want it's not really a trap game, but I worry about us coming back off a big win like that against a rival and our emotions being down. We're probably going to be without 3 starting linemen Friday night. We had some injuries Friday night. I don't know if they're season-long injuries, but they're definitely a couple of weeks. So we're going to start a couple freshmen up front. That concerns me. So our defense is really going to have to play well.
Well, and we fell into a little bit of that here locally because Blackman, which is one of the schools here that has been a great program, and Riverdale, great program in Oakland, all 3 of them lost this past Friday night. It's been since 2006 since that happened in Rutherford County, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Just witnessed it this past Friday night, and your kids need to be aware that going to have to play assignment football and pay attention and be ready to fire Friday night for 48 minutes.
Yeah, and I challenged them this week. And how good do you want to be? I think we have a good football team, but I think the staying the course week after week and trying to get better rep after rep and every practice, this team has got to stay focused and do that kind of thing. If they do that, I think we've got a pretty good football team. I like our team's speed. We got a little bit of a size deficiency on defense up front, but heart and effort can overtake that. So we'll see how we come back Friday night after a big win.
Well, and I'll close it out. You guys, you going to do anything this weekend that's fun? It's heading into Labor Day, but I know your coaches don't get to do much, but it is college football kickoff weekend, and anything on the agenda just for a little bit of Busby time?
I'm fighting the cold. No, not for me. My great weekend would be to win on Friday night, get a lot of food and laying around and watching football on Saturday and just resting and through the weekend, and then we'll be back on Monday evening to practice. But no, not a whole lot of excitement from our coaching staff for the weekend, especially if we don't win.
I tell you what, well, Coach, we wish you the best of luck, and as always, I appreciate you joining me on Inside the Headset, and won't be long, and that you are the final long road trip we will make, and we'll be coming down in October, and we are so looking forward to being there. And Hollywood's kind of beating me up because he's not going to be there. He's got he's got other plans, and I'm telling him, I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to be whatever, but the schedule's a schedule. We put it out, and we usually come down during our fall break when nothing's going on here in Rutherford County, and we love coming down. But I'm so anxious to see that sunset right over the Cahaba River there at Helena High School.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. Hollywood's full of crap. Because look, don't feel bad, because Hollywood missed my 50th birthday party. And we've been friends since we were 4, because he's got to go to some wireless thing. Like, he can't miss one wireless thing to do a broadcast or come to a birthday. So he's on my list.
I tell you what. Well, we appreciate you, Coach. And I tell you what. Now that's one of the best ones. But I tell you what. Yeah, you did see the drive, and as we were talking earlier, I mean, nobody can drive a golf ball like Hollywood. I mean, he can smack it to outer space when he wants to.
No, but let me tell you something. When you come to Helena, that Beef O'Brady's on the river will still be open. You'll still have your spot where you come all the time, and we'll take care of you with or without him.
All right, we're going to have a good time. We'll be down to Helena soon. Coach, come away with a win. Have a great weekend, and stay injury-free and play hard.
You too. Yeah, best of luck up there, guys. Thank you.
All righty, go Huskies.
All right, go Huskies. Thank you.